This video will walk you through how to use OpenTSPS, which is an open source video tracker for tracking people and spaces, with Unity3d, which is a game engine. First, we'll start with OpenTSPS, which I have open here. OpenTSPS generally works with video cameras, such as security cameras or webcams, but for our purposes here, I'm going to show you how to use it with a program called CamTwist. CamTwist is nice because it allows you to play test movies that are recorded as QuickTime files and feed them into OpenTSPS, which allows you to prototype applications without having to have a video camera hooked up. I have CamTwist loaded and paused on the first frame of this test movie, which I downloaded from Theodore Watson's archive of useful OpenCV test movies. I have it set to loop and autoplay. And now I'll go back to OpenTSPS. You can see that the first frame of this video is stored in our camera view. It's paused. If I scrub through this video, you can see this changes in OpenTSPS, or if I hit play, it starts to change. So we'll keep it on the first frame for the moment. First, we need to configure OpenTSPS to work with our footage here. OpenTSPS has 5 views, the first being the camera view, which shows you your live input. The second being the adjusted view, which allows you to crop or change. If I were to crop in this image at all, you can see it changes the adjusted view in that thumbnail below, or keep it at full frame. The next is the background, which right now we haven't captured a background, so let's go ahead and do that. We're lucky because our test video, the first frame, has no people in it, so it gives us a valid background plate to capture from. How OpenTSPS works to detect people is it takes the current frame of your video camera and subtracts that from a known background image. The difference between those two will reveal if people have entered the scene. So I'll capture a background image. You can see now that the fourth view, the differencing view, has gone to blank. There's no difference between our current camera image and the background image, which means that there's no people. But if we hit play on our movie, we'll have somebody enter the scene. Here you can see as this guy walks in, he's turned into what's called a blob. It's assigned an ID, which is unique and stays over time, and an age, which is the number of frames that blob has been in the scene. Now you can see this not working perfectly because we have a woman here who's not being picked up, or isn't being picked up very reliably. So we can adjust our settings to work with this footage. One thing to adjust is the threshold, which what the threshold does is it clamps the dark pixels to black. So most of the time you want to clamp dark pixels so that any video noise doesn't end up showing up as people. But in this scene, I think we can pull the threshold down a little bit. Now this woman shows up. So open up Unity, and this is Unity Pro. This demo works with Unity Standard as well, which is free. So in the Git repository that I have up online, there's a Unity OpenTSPS example package. By double-clicking this, when you have a project open, it'll import all the assets for the example into your current scene, which is a nice way to do it. So we'll hit import. It'll compile the scripts. Now that adds all of the assets for this example into the Unity project. If you double click the OpenTSPS receiver, don't need to save your current example. Now we have this scene, which is our example scene for running OpenTSPS within Unity. So the first thing we need to check and make sure is that the two are going to talk to one another. So that's done using the protocol called OSC, which right now is not configured. So turn off send OSC, and what we want to do is, instead of having this IP address, we'll put in localhost and send to port 12,000. So we'll turn on send OSC there again, and then go back to Unity. In our example, go to our OpenTSPS receiver, which is an empty game object that listens for OpenTSPS messages. It has a port attribute on it, so we'll change that to 12,000 as well, and then we'll hit play and see what happens. Here we have a little cube that's tracking in the same position as the person in our scene. You can see here is that woman coming in. She sort of disappears when the tracking doesn't work well, but in the corner we have the other person. So the position of the cube is mapped directly to the position of the person in the scene. So let's compare the two here. Now notice when you click away from Unity3d, the program ceases to update again, so you have to select back. But I'll resize the windows here so that we can see. So here are both things working together, and you can see the cube in the scene tracks where this person is standing. So you can use this example as a starting place to make your own projects involving both person tracking with OpenTSPS and anything you can imagine doing in Unity3D. Cool, thanks for checking it out.